You likely use Google a dozen times a day. You search for an answer, check your Gmail, or use maps to beat traffic. You watch a video on YouTube. And every single time, you pay exactly $0. It raises a central mystery. How does a company that charges nothing for its best tools generate hundreds of billions in revenue every year? The accepted story is simple. In the late 90s, they built a superior search algorithm. People liked it. They expanded that utility, grew into a global giant, and achieved scale simply by being useful. This narrative creates an invisible psychological trap. Because we use these tools every day, we mistakenly assume we are the customers. We believe we are the ones being served. But those free tools are not the actual business. They are the bait, designed to lure you into a much larger system. Here is the transactional reality. If you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. Google's actual paying customers are the advertisers, and what Google is selling to them is your attention and your data. You are the inventory. Most people hear they sell your data and imagine a spreadsheet of names and zip codes. In reality, the inventory Google sells is a highly intimate, constantly updating digital clone of your daily life. Think about your search history. You ask Google questions alone, in private, that you would never ask your spouse or your friends. It is a permanent record of your curiosities, anxieties, and shames, the most honest version of you that exists. Then add physical movement. Google Maps tracks your location constantly. They know where you sleep, where you work, who you visit, and how long you stay. Even if you think you've turned it off, your phone still pings their infrastructure. Next is your inbox. Gmail scans the contents of every email you receive, your finances, your health updates, your private conflicts. The system processes it all, whether you open the message or not. Then there is your psychology. YouTube watches what you click on, what you skip, and what keeps you hooked. They have a more accurate picture of your true interests than you do, because they track your actual behavior rather than what you say you like. Finally, they watch your thoughts form. Google Docs sees every draft you create, tracking exactly what you write and what you choose to delete in private. These disparate data points are aggregated into a single, personalized human profile, and every time you see an ad, that profile is being sold to the highest bidder in real time. The ads aren't random. They are surgically targeted to who you actually are. This is the ultimate evolution of a macroeconomic pattern governing all modern empires. We saw this with Tesla, where the cars were the collectors for the real prize, driving data. We saw it with Amazon, where cheap books were the cover for building a global logistics infrastructure. Apple uses hardware to create ecosystem lock-in, and Costco uses low-margin goods to sell you an annual membership. The framework is consistent. The surface business is the distraction, and the byproduct is the play. But Google is the most extreme example. Their byproduct isn't an infrastructure, a membership, or a machine. The byproduct is a packaged human being. I'm not suggesting you delete Google or try to live off the grid. I use these tools too. For most of us, the profound utility of these free tools is worth the trade. But there is a stark difference between making a trade with your eyes open and making it unconsciously. The architect's goal isn't to refuse every free service, but to possess the skill of seeing the actual cost and making trades with clarity. This pattern shows up everywhere, in your social media, your news, and your apps. Anywhere you get something for free, someone is extracting value from your attention or your data. Here is your homework. Pick one free service you use daily. Identify the real hidden price you are paying and drop that realization in the comments. You weren't slow for missing this. You simply weren't given the maps. We're going to keep exposing these hidden systems, one video at a time. I'll see you in the next one.